Good afternoon, everyone. We start our session now, the dental session 2, about the herbal medicine in dentistry. My name is Arya. I'm a medical doctor, but in this session, Is it clear, my sound?
This is okay, yes.
Okay. So, in this session, we will talk about the herbal medicine in dentistry. The medicinal plants is become interest in all over the therapeutical medicine, not only in the medicine but also in dentistry. So this is become a renewed interest, yeah, because the therapeutic or prophylactic use of plants, a part of their extract is already renew again. Yeah, so there is also much of the public considers herbal medicine as safe. So we should be aware that there are any potential drug interaction or adverse drug reactions, and this is the session that we will discuss much about that. And we have many participants now, at least 10 participants already joining in this session. And as a chair, I deliver to Dr. Kartika to introduce all of the participants. Please, Dr. Kartika.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Arya. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. Good morning. Selamat pagi. Shub Prabat, Dr. Anita, Lao Shang Hao, the Honorable Madam Speakers, distinguished guests, fellow students, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to APAN 44 Dental Session 2, supported by TEMDEC. My name is Kartika Andari Bulan. I'm from Brawijaya University, and I will be serving as your moderator today. In today's session, we are going to talk about the nature role of herbs in dentistry. As we all know, oral disease continue to be a major health problem worldwide, and it has affected quality of life. The link between oral disease and the activities of microorganisms of the oral cavity is well established. Prevention and treatment options for oral disease can be done by maintaining proper oral hygiene to reduce disease occurrence bacteria and also by use of commercially available drugs. Since there has been an increased resistance by pathogenic bacteria to currently used antibiotics and adverse effects of some antibacterial agents currently used in dentistry, has increased interest in the study of medicinal plants and their traditional use in different parts of the world in the last few decades. And according to the World Health Organization, WHO, as many as 80% of the world's people depend on traditional medicine for their primary healthcare needs. In the developed country, 25% of the medical drugs are based on herbs and their derivatives. Although today, only a few of these many herbs have been approved for their commendable medicinal properties, and many studies are being conducted to know these herbs in depth. So in this occasion, we shall have outstanding presentation from our presenters, whom I believe shall enrich our insights and knowledge regarding the use of herbal medicine in dentistry. And you will be hearing from 7 speakers on this very timely subject, and each of presenters will be given 10 to 15 minutes maximum to do the presentation. But before we get started, I wanted to take a few minutes of your time to introduce the participants for today's session. Okay, first we have, I'll seem to lost the Dr. Anita from India. Okay, first we have from Jember University. Okay, thank you for Okay, thank you for joining us today. Okay.
Dr. Susi. Hello.
Okay, hello. Okay. Thank you for joining us today. And second, we have from University Science Islam Malaysia.
Yes, hello. My name is
Hello.
Dr. Natni.
Okay, thank you for joining us today. And also we have from Lambung Mangkurat University. Okay.
My name is Maharani. I am from the Faculty of Lambung Mangkurat University. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for joining us. And then we have from Brawijaya University.
Dr. Kartika. My name is Yuli from Brawijaya.
Okay, thank you for joining us. And next is from University of Sumatra Utara. It's all the way from Northern Sumatra.
Hello, my name is Dr. Aini Haryani Nasution. Thank you, Dr. Kartika, for having me today.
Okay, thank you for joining us today, Doctor. Okay. And also we have from Mahasaraswati Denpasar. Oh, not, it's not joining us. It's not. Okay, so we also have from India, from Malareddy Dental College, Hyderabad, India.
Yeah, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, can you hear? Yes, I can hear you very clearly. Namaste,
Yeah, ma'am.
Doctor. Yes,
Anita.
namaste, Doctor. Abse milkar khushi hui. Thank you for joining us today. Hello. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. And for today's session, I will be assisted by Dr. Aksa Shuhada from Erlangga University, whom will moderate the question and answer session held after all of the presenters finish their presentation. Thank you for joining us today, Dr. Aksa. Hello.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm Aksa Shuhada from Faculty of Dental Medicine, Erlangga University. It's an honor for me to join this conference session as a co-chair. Have a great meeting. Thank you very much.
It's an honor for us to have you here. Okay. So let's move along. And for today's session, we will start without further ado. Please welcome the first presenters, Dr. Akalori Anita from Malareddy Dental College. Yes. The session is yours, Doctor.
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
Please start the presentation.
Okay, ma'am. Shall I start?
Yes, you can start the presentation.
Yeah, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Good morning, one and all. First of all, thank you so much for giving me this nice opportunity. Myself, Dr. Anita from India, Institute of Dental Development. So my topic is how can we dental diseases by using flat? So, preventive dental care is the topic. So we all know that.
Excuse me. I'm sorry, Dr. Anita.
Dr. Anita, can you start share screen?
Yes, sir.
Can you
Yeah, sir. I think. One second. Yes, sir. Is it clear?
Not yet. Start sharing.
Yes, sir. I started.
Yeah. You should start sharing and the video desktop.
Sir, is it clear? Okay.
No, not yet.
Okay, one second, sir.
Okay, this happened because we already practiced with Dr. Anita like several times, but some trouble still coming. So I guess Dr. Kartika, to make efficient of time, maybe we can continue for the second, and we can share the times after Dr. Dewa Ayu, after the second presenter.
Okay.
Please, Dr. Kartika.
I'm sorry for the technical problem. So we should proceed with. Okay, should we proceed to the next presenter first? Okay. Dr. Anita?
Yeah, ma'am.
Can you share the presentation?
Yes, ma'am, I'm sharing.
Yeah. Now we can go.
Yeah, ma'am. Is it clear?
అనిత గారు నేను సత్యనారాయణ అండి హైదరాబాద్ నుంచి.
ఓకే సార్ చెప్పండి సార్.
అది ప్రెజెంటేషన్ మోడ్ లోకి వెళ్ళాలి. మీరు ఎడిట్ మోడ్.
సార్ లేదు సార్ ప్రెజెంటేషన్ మోడ్ లోనే ఉన్నాను. యాక్చువల్లీ దేర్ ఈజ్ సమ్ ప్రాబ్లం.
Okay, Dr. Anita, you can start your presentation.
షేర్ చేసుకోండి. మీరు ప్రెజెంటేషన్ షేర్ చేశారు మీరు. చేయండి.
వచ్చిందా సార్?
లేదు లేదా
ఇంకా రాలేదంట. ఆయన తెలుగు మాట్లాడుతున్నారు.
డెస్క్టాప్ లో షేర్ చేయండి సార్.
Okay, maybe we can start. We can postpone your presentation and let's start with the second presentation. Maybe we can do that.
కాదు అది మల్లారెడ్డి కాకుండా థింక్ ప్యాడ్ డిస్ప్లే చేయండి.
Hello, Dr. Anita.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, maybe we can. Oh, I see.
Yeah. Now we can go ahead.
Now we can go.
Yeah, ma'am. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. Okay. So my
minimize video desktop అండి. మీ లెఫ్ట్ సైడ్ వీడియో డెస్క్టాప్ మినిమైజ్ చేయండి.
ఓకే సార్. లెఫ్ట్ సైడ్ సార్ ఇది మినిమైజ్ చేయమంటారా సార్?
మినిమైజ్ చేయండి అది.
ఓకే సార్. సార్ ఇస్ ఇట్ క్లియర్?
స్టార్ట్ చేయండి. స్టార్ట్ చేయండి.
ఓకే సార్. ఓకే సో సారీ.
Please proceed, doctor.
Okay, so my topic is today on how can we use for the dental. So my topic has been given. So over that the body. So that is a window to the body as oral manifestation leads to make convections such as vascular diseases and diabetes. And we all know that oral health is the entire body. And oral diseases like dental caries and periodontal diseases more as well as oral health problems. Also, anal cancers and oral tissue lesions are also a significant severe oral health concern. And oral health affects the quality of life, as we all know, and especially the periodontitis, which is a gum disease, is one of the major reasons for the tooth loss in adults, and
Dr. Kartika, can you hear me?
Please skip to the next first.
Yeah, we can skip it.
Yes.
Because she connected from her home. And according to Satya, the network in her area is not so good.
Oh, I see. Because I cannot see her in my screen, on my screen. Okay. Maybe we continue to.
Okay, Dr. Anita, we skip your presentation first because I think there's a network problem in your side. So forgive us. We continue to the next presenter.
Okay. So please, Dr. Susi from Jember University, the session is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm from University of Jember. Well, maybe here is my place, University of Jember in East Java. My son, famous well-known as Carnival today in Java, and also we have Fatuma Tanjung Gips. The main commodity of Jember is coffee. That's why my university also concerns with research in coffee. And I have been focusing my research project on coffee. It's about 6 years. And here is, that's why today I'd like to present my research with potency of coffee to improve oral health disease. Some of our studies prove that coffee improves internal collagens of coronary artery. So my study actually concerns with the effect of coffee to cardiovascular health. And here is some results I have. Coffee improves internal collagens of coronary artery, leading to protect against coronary artery sclerosis. And also we study results. Coffee modulates inflammation and oxidation. Here is some of our results. This is the cross-section of coronary artery of rat. This is the rat that consumes coffee. You can see here that the morphology of coronary artery is better than the digestive rat. This is the coronary artery of pyrodontary rat. You can compare very distinctive. The rat that consumes coffee have better morphology, have an impact internal collagen, while in the digestive rat demonstrated this integrated internal collagen. Here is the machine picture. So my research confirmed that coffee growth demonstrated super and intact internal collagen and also has a wider and clearer vein. And also we studied the effect of coffee to some systemic inflammatory markers such as erythrocyte sedimentation rate and coffee through lower ESR. Also coffee through lower serum CRP. This is also final inflammatory marker. Also coffee lower serum MND. This is a kind of enzyme, matrix metalloproteinase enzyme that is responsible for degradation of collagen matrix. And we know that coffee is a complex chemical compound. There are so many, more than 100 compounds composed in coffee. And many studies have proved that component coffee has antibacterial properties, anti-inflammatory, antioxidants, and my study consists of collagen. Like I said before, that coffee improves the collagen integration, so it means it inhibits the collagen degradation. And how coffee mechanism to inhibit the collagen degradation because of antioxidants. This is maybe I'd like to briefly about the structure of MNT, the enzyme responsible for collagen degradation. This enzyme is produced as inactive protein. This is the schematic structure of MNT, pro-MNT. The active site is formed by the peptide rhodamine, and this enzyme can activate by mechanism called proteolytic enzyme or conformational change by ROS, reactive oxygen species such as oxidants and free radicals. So where is the role of coffee? Coffee probably, the antioxidant of coffee probably can inhibit the ROS. And also the antibacterial properties of coffee may inhibit the productions of proteolytic enzyme or exotoxin bacteria, so it will reduce the activations of that enzyme. Sorry. And how about inflammation? We know that inflammation is firstly done by inflammatory cells such as neutrophil or melanocytes or macrophages, and they have enzymes in the membrane. And the membrane inhibits oxidation, and the inflammatory process is enzyme the response to stimulate, and inside is the productions of radicals, and radicals that is the respiratory cells, and they are followed by the oxidative stress that can result in oxidative stress. So oxidative stress or RNA generation can activate the pro-MMP and become active and MP that can degrade collagen into substance. And this is the anti-inflammatory effect of coffee. Probably some research says that coffee can modulate the heart enzyme, or also can study the pro-inflammatory cytokines such as 17, and it will modulate the pro-MMP to become MMP. And other study mentions about the antibacterial of coffee. My students have proved that coffee has an inhibitory effect against bacterial antibodies, Streptococcus pyogenes, and Candida albicans. But a nice study is concerns with the host response against coffee rather than the antimicrobial properties. In conclusion, coffee maintains integrity of collagen tissue, control migratory population, moderate inflammation, so it might can be used to maintain oral tissue health, oral tissue health, and it can be used as a marker with fires, etc. And about I think this coffee used orally, in oral coffee, probably it's research on minimal effect, and also minimal drugs interaction, because most people have habitual coffee consumption. So I think that this prospect to start with there is still an area to be studied in terms of the use of coffee in oral coffee. So welcome to study coffee. So I will offer to anybody to study about coffee. And we have special research group in our university concerned with coffee. So thank you. That's all my question.
Oral health. So it is proven that coffee can inhibit the growth of or control the oral microorganisms and might be used in oral cavity as a mouth rinse or a toothpaste. However, further studies still needed to investigate and elucidate more of its potency, especially in adverse drug reaction.
Can you stop your sharing? You stop sharing. Timber, can you stop sharing? Timber, can you stop sharing? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So let's move along to the next presenter. Okay. Move on to the next presenters is our second presenters from University Science Islam Malaysia, Dr. Winarni. The session is yours, doctor. Thank you. Please proceed. Thank you, Dr. Kartika. Okay. Ini yang good morning. My name is Dr. Winarni, and the first one, I would like to thanks to the organizer for inviting me to present today, and also not forgetting, would like to thanks you to my all supervisors. Thank you very much. And in this opportunity, I want to share about SIWA with a title, Review of SIWA as an Oral Hygiene Tool. According to the history, the people have used many kind tool for take care of their oral hygiene. For example, they have used from a bone, from chicken feather, and more important, which not still famous until currently. They have used from a plant that called siwa. Actually, Babylonians was used over 7,000 years ago using siwa. Okay, later on, the Greek and Roman emperors, and also been used by ancient Egyptians and Muslims. It is used in different parts of Africa, Asia, especially in the Middle East and South America. In 1986, WHO recommended about use siwa, but in 2000, the international consensus report that further research needed to document effect of siwa. I will to share about many research for the siwa later on. Siwa itself has many synonyms. It is depend on area on the country. Siwa or miswa usually used in Middle East, miswaki in Tanzania, mefaka in Ethiopia, and in India famous with kolgatum. And in Japanese, usually called koryuchi, natural toothbrush in English. And in Indonesia and the country around, usually famous with name suki or kayu suki. Siwa made from root and twigs of plant called Salvadora persica or tree. Salvadora persica itself is a small plant, not more 1 feet of diameter, and I think have branches. So if the skin peeled off, the color is rather whitish, and the root is brown, and its height is white. Smell of Salvadora persica like celery, and the taste a bit spicy, or maybe another one said warm and pigeon.
Siwa is a pencil-sized stick with length 15 until 20 centimeter and diameter 1 until 1.5 centimeter for adults. And children usually use size 10 until 15 centimeter length and diameter about 1 centimeter. Because siwa is from twig or stem, they need to soak in the water before using to get the more softener. About 1 inch in the water, we soak. How many times we need to soak the stick? There is a journal that say about we need to soak about 24 hours. So another journal said enough to 1 hour, and for me, I think just 3 until 5 minutes is enough to get the stick more softener. After we soak, we need to chew the one end until become flat into a brush. So such as twig from right to the left side. It is a benefit can clean occlusal surface of it. Okay. After cleaning procedure is complete, remove or may be left in the mold for some additional times. It can release more chemical composition in the stick and keep it a moist place when not used. So avoid to keep in direct under sunlight because the stick become hard, so can danger or injure in gum. After having been used several times, replace a new one or bristle cut off to expose fresh end. So I think after use 3 times, we must be to put to get a fresh. Okay, this is chemical composition in the siwa. We can look at silica, and this is function. Silica act an abrasive material to remove plaque. I think this calcium inhibit demineralization and induce the demineralization of enamel. Fluoride, anti-karyogenic activity and tooth remineralization, and tannin reduce clinical detectable gingivitis and reduce plaque and gingivitis. Resin has a protective action against dental caries by forming a layer of often the enamel surface. Okay. Okay. Antimicrobial properties. Extract of Salvador Basica had a drastic effect on growth of Staphylococcus aureus, Streptococcus mutans, Streptococcus mitis, and anaerobic Streptococcus. There is picture of Streptococcus before and after using siwak or miswak, and before and after using toothbrush. We can comparison the Streptococcus before siwak and before using toothbrush almost same, and after using siwak, if we compare to after using toothbrush, and after using siwak less than after using toothbrush for Streptococcus. In another study, siwak pieces were standardized by size and weight and test against Streptococcus mutant, Lactobacillus acidophilus, Aggregatibacter actinomyces cetecomitan, Propyromonas gingivalis, and Haemophilus influenzae. Results found that the strong antibacterial effect against all bacteria tests is due to presence of volatile active antibacterial compound. In clinical study, cross-sectional studies show conflicting results. In general, among adult revealed higher plaque and gingival bleeding in siwak user as compared with toothbrush user. Another retrospective study showed that siwak users had deeper pocket and more prevalence of periodontal disease. In contrast, no difference in plaque and gingival bleeding were found between toothbrush and siwak users among 7 until 15 years old children in Tanzania. It is reported that patients using siwak regularly saw decreased gingival bleeding on probing compared with non-siwak users. Thus, poor oral hygiene with those using siwak may be a reflection of both techniques. I think same with if we use toothbrush, if we have poor technique, will be result same. According to Kasi et al., reported that plaque and gingivitis were significantly reduced when siwak was used 5 times a day compared with conventional toothbrush. It has been reported that siwak users had significantly more size of gingival recession than did the toothbrush users. Furthermore, the severity of recession was significantly more pronounced in the siwak user than that in the toothbrush user. However, the gingival recession reported in siwak user may be a reflection of both techniques. This on
Dr. Winarni, you only have 1 minute left.
Of Sudanese population conclude that the periodontal status of siwak user is better than toothbrush. Study comparative conduct on a sampling of 480 Saudi Arabian adults on the level need for periodontal care. And this is from a siwak in the market. So more hygiene, we have preparation. Okay. For application, siwak Salvadora Persica can for toothpaste, sample for in the market, Harkan toothpaste in UK, in Switzerland, Kuali Miswak toothpaste, and in Indonesia itself is siwak F. This is the sample in the commercial market. Okay. for mouthwashes, reasonable in the market. And also SIWA can use endodontic irrigation solution. Antibacterial activity of SIWA has been reported, but its toxicity must be considered. And last, determination of DNA profiling. So SIWA is good DNA profiling. And conclusion, because of the scientific benefit, the proper method of using SIWA as a cleansing technique to achieve maximum benefit must be emphasized through the intervention. Innovation has been done at the time, and as the SIWA is a source of natural ingredient, it may be used more widely in Indonesia and around the world. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Winarni, for addressing these wonderful topics. As well as we know that the most basic process SIWA can be used as a natural toothbrushes with healing. So let's proceed to our next presenters from Lambung Mangkurat University, Dr. Maharani Apriyasari.
Dr. Maharani, can you minimize the video desktop? Dr. Maharani, can minimize the video desktop? Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. The time for me to present my research about the effect of Musa acuminata stem extract for increasing NF kappa expression of macrophages on traumatic ulcer. The first, I want to talk about Mauli banana. It's called Musa acuminata. This plant is characteristic only in Banjarmasin, especially, and others in the South Borneo. And this plant is contain the most of bioactive like tannin and saponin. Previous research has shown that 25% ethanol extract of Mauli banana, significant difference compared to patent medicine contain aloe vera extract in accelerating wound healing, as seen from the number increasing of macrophage. And so we can tell that this plant contains the tannin and saponin and has effect non-toxic, antimicrobial, and antioxidant. Saponin in this plant will be captured by the G protein receptor in macrophage, and then through protein kinase can process an active NF kappa B. So that in other research show that the plant can increase the NF kappa B has effect of immunomodulator. So that in this research I want to show that only banana stem extract can increase the NF kappa B2 by using Red's model of traumatic ulcer. The methods of the research is the research type is through experimental study with host-only control groups designed using male status norvegicus of Vista strain as the models of traumatic ulcer. We know that ulceration of oral cavity undergoes secondary infection because in the oral cavity are found many common cell microorganisms. Therefore, it has led to the need of topical medication in oral cavity containing antiseptic and can accelerate wound healing. So far, people use aloe vera leaves, but here in South Borneo, especially in Banjarmasin, patent medicine contain aloe vera is difficult to find because it's far from Java. And then it makes me want to take the research about this. This is materials and methods of my research. A sample of banana stem to the extract were washed with running water into small pieces, and then dried in the oven with temperature of 40 until 60 degrees for 3 days. After they were dry, then the smoothing was done with a blender and followed by extraction process that use maceration method. That was by soaking the dried and cut banana stems with 70% ethanol, and then the result would be evaporated with the vacuum rotary evaporator, and then evaporator again in the water bath until obtain a thick extract. You can see the extract of Maoli banana in 100%, and then we make the gel with hydroxypropylcellulose medium or HPMC, and look like a gel. And contain 25% and 37.5% and 40% concentration gel. This one, and in white in negative controls contain 0% of Maoli banana stem. Study used 40 samples divided into 4 groups. The first is negative control, contain 0 concentration, and then second are the treatment that contain EBPM, extract Maoli banana gel, concentration of 25%, and the third are given in group by EBPM gel, concentration 37.5%, and the treatment group 3 given EBPM gel of 40% concentration. All are given on 3 times daily every 6 until 8 hours. Every day each group was observed and sacrificed on day 3 and 5. This the gel in the tube. It's when I do the research in the web, buka course on lab. Nah, this one I use biopsy, and diameter, use diameter 6 diameter, and tip 1 milli, and then on the third day, the rat was sacrificed, and others group the fifth day, the rats are sacrificed too, and then we can get the sample of biopsy. It's bukan leg of rat, and then when take into the formalin. After this, we prepare the traumatic ulcer tissue of the rat buccal of male distal rat, biopsy, and doing immunohistochemical staining. Then analyze with the NF-kappa B expression, especially P50. And the result is so that on day 3 there was a significant difference in NF-kappa B expression between EBPM gel of 0% concentration with all treatments. There was a significant difference in NF-kappa B expression between gel 25% concentration with all treatment, except ABPM gel of 37.5% concentration. And there was a significant difference in NF-kappa B expression between the 50% EBPM gel with all groups. It can be seen in the slide. In the presence of NF-kappa B cell of macrophage. And then on the 5 days, there was a significant difference in NF-kappa B expression between EBPM gel of 0% concentration with all treatment groups, significant difference of NF-kappa B expression between EBPM gel of 25 to 35 concentration with all groups, significant difference in NF-kappa B expression between EBPM gel concentration of 37.5 with all groups, and a significant difference between EBPM gel concentration of 50% with all groups. The result of statistic analysis using ANOVA.
Dr. Maharani?
Yeah?
You only have 1 minute left.
Okay. And post-hoc LSD test. The result was significant difference of NF-kappa B expression, and it can be concluded that BPM of 37.5% concentration day on day 3 compared to day 5. This is the table. BPM gel of 37.5% concentration can increase the highest NF-kappa B expression in healing of traumatic ulcer. Okay, thank you.
for addressing such a wonderful topic. So maybe we can move on to the next presentation. It's from Brawijaya University. From Brawijaya University, are you ready, Dr. Yuli?
Dr. Maharani, can you stop sharing?
Yeah.
No, not that one. The other one. Okay, Brawijaya, please proceed.
Thank you, Dr. Kartika. Now I'm presenting the title of my research is Effect of Aloe Vera Gel on Straw 1 Periodontal Ligament Cell and Periodontal Ligament Regeneration through the expression of SMAD3, beta-catenin, and Ki67. Background is foot avulsion can cause the PDL tissue damage, and then afterward there would be a chronic inflammation, and next would be the replacement resorption, or we call ankylosis. So the avulsion is a state in which the teeth loss of the socket. Avulsion is emergency, need treatment immediately, that called replantation. Recently, the method of tissue engineering is a promising new approach to repair and regenerate the periodontal tissue. So the principle of tissue engineering involves cells, regenerative, and then the scaffold or membrane, and then molecular signaling from growth factor. In 2004, it was claimed that periodontal ligaments have been led to binding of 3 types of stem cell, one of which comes from the PDL that we call PDL stem cell. The PDL stem cell has been known to be used as a therapeutic reconstruction of periodontal tissue damage by chronic inflammation. And it was studied that the characteristic of mesenchymal stem cell expressed cell surface marker is called STRO1. The transforming growth factor involvement is one of the examples that cause rapid translocation of the nucleus by beta-catenin through SMAD3 dependent pathways, leads to increased proliferation and suppression of osteogenesis. The polemic of existence of VNT signaling is present of extensive crosstalk between VNT on other pathway can affect the fate of mesenchymal stem cell. And next, the involving of growth factor through growth factor signaling has been improved that there are mediation to the stem cell proliferation. So one of the journals showed that the induction of fibroblast growth factor through MAPK signaling indicates that they were increasing STRO1 and improved the proliferation of stem cell. Next. The aloe vera as a plant has been used as a traditional medicine of many countries, especially in Asia. Asmanam as a bioactive material is the major fraction of polysaccharide that isolate from aloe vera. It can improve various stages of wound healing process such as requirement of macrophage, collagen synthesis, and wound contraction. Next. The mechanism that regulate the effect of asamanan in cellular activity has been studying. Based on the structure, the composition of glucose and molecular weight and in asamanan bind the receptor through the any cell surface and initiate to the intracellular signaling as a downstream, and then to stimulate proliferation and differentiation. Involvement of the anti-signaling is known to control many types of stem cell and is factor to keep stem cell in a state of self-renewal. And the next, there were crosstalk signaling between TGF-beta pathway and the VNT through transcription factor and via SMAD3 has been reported. The facilitation of VNT signaling has also been shown to occur the integration of SMAD3 with beta-catenin to TCF-LAF. So the purpose of our research is to determine the effect of aloe vera gel toward the expression of SMAD3, beta-catenin, and Ki67 in PDL stem cell in the periodontal ligament tissue of dental rat post-traumatic trauma of fusion after aloe vera exposure. So the material and method, the research is through experimental design using post-test random. The experiment has been done in the laboratory pharmacology, biochemistry, and the Central Laboratory of Life Science in Brawijaya University. Next. The aloe vera lean was collected and extracted in laboratorium of Chemical Materia Medica in Batu. So next. And then the preparation of animal models already approved by Ethics Committee of Medical School Brawijaya, and the animals were adapted for 1 week before the operation. For anesthetic, we use ketamine intramuscular 30 mg per kilo body weight per dose injected in the right rear foot area in the quadricep muscle. Next. So the treatment in rat model after anesthesia has been applied. Gingiva of the upper jaw was separated, and then the right of incisive teeth were luxated with the elevator and then extracted by forceps to imitate tooth avulsion. So in the group treatment, the rat was administered by aloe vera gel, 2 mg per milli. After tooth was removed, the aloe vera was applied in the socket. And then sedation was achieved using Novalgin 3 mg per kilogram body weight per day for 3 days. And each group was investigated and sacrificed at day 3. So next, yeah. The research after this, the socket was extracted from the sacrificed rat and immediately immersed by formalin before preparing the paraffin block. And then we use the immunohistochemia, and then after that we use the immunofluorescence staining for the SMAD3, beta-catenin, and Ki67. And then PDL stem cell identified by immunocytochemical staining by using the mouse antibody against rabbits. Next. So the statistical analysis using SPSS 22 by ANOVA was performed to compare the response variable between groups compared on 3 days. Next. The result, the SMAD3 expression was seen in each sample of preparation on day 3. They were observed on the immunofluorescence staining with specific antibody. So the expression observed by confocal laser scanning microscope with 400 magnification. The number of STRO1 PDL stem cells that expressing SMAD3 statistically is not significant. They were decreasing in all treatment groups. Therefore, as a descriptive, the graphic appeared as the same increasingly. Next. This is the histogram of the expression on the SMAD3 in third observation. And then the second group, we choose the beta-catenin expression seen in a sample of preparation on the day 3. It has been observed by also immunofluorescence, and the number of STRO1 periodontal ligament stem cells that express in beta-catenin is statistically significant. See the histogram of expression on beta-catenin observation on the 3 day. As from the membrane, we seemed higher and then decreasing in the aloe vera gel exposure, and then the combination of aloe vera and membrane, we see seemed decreasing, more decreasing. So next, the expression of Ki67 was observed in immunofluorescence, the expression statistically significant. All of the treatment group were significantly decreasing. So next, here the histogram expression in all of the treatment in the membrane, allo gel or combination allo and membrane look decreasing group. Next discussion. The TGF-beta is the key factor in the process of wound healing, which is regulated by TGF SMART pathway. The previous studies suggested by WNT beta-catenin pathway might be involved in wound healing. And our studies show that the SMART3 expression were decreasing in all treatment groups comparing with the control group. That means there were synergetic between TGF-beta signaling and SMART, while SMART2 physically bind and modulate the activity as a transcription factor. Next, and the expression of beta-catenin appeared increasing in treatment group with inducing the membrane and then decreasing. Therefore, statistically, there were significantly differences. So this suggests that TGF-beta and SMART pathway could activate and inhibit where anti-beta-catenin canonical pathway in inducing treatment by membrane and aloe vera gel, and even combination between the two of them. So in the expression of Ki67 show that the treatment group there was a significantly decrease compared with the control group. On day 3 observation, the proliferation has not been appeared as well. That was assumed the inflammation process would be continued. They also suggested in some cells the amount of Ki67 antigen remains constant during GI phase and characteristic pattern can be observed. In the larger fraction of cells analyzed, there was a osmotic decrease in Ki67. So Ki67, as we know, the 360 kilodalton nuclear protein, and it's commonly used to dictate quantitative proliferating cell. So and then it continues to be expressed throughout G2 and M phase. Its expression is undetectable in cell during in phase G0. Therefore, it's a broad use as a marker for cellular proliferation. Next. The molecular mechanism that regulates the effect of aloe vera on enzyme or cellular activity is still being investigated. So, next, for the conclusion, the effect of aloe vera gel promote the proliferation might be from TGF-beta signaling through the SMART, and then the proliferation in our study through activated beta-catenin were decreasing could be affected by synergetic canonical, non-canonical pathway via signaling, anti-signaling, and then the expression of Ki67 marker proliferation was decreased. That suggests from the another pathway that was not directly through the PDL stem cell. So the pathway from proliferation and differentiation in PDL stem cells still needs to be investigated. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Yuli. Before we begin with our last presenter, I would like to acknowledge our colleague from Mahasaraswati Denpasar University. Welcome. We lost you a while ago, and now you come back. How are you, doctor? Thank you for joining us today. Oh, okay. Let's proceed to the next presenters is from University of Sumatera Utara, Dr. Aini Haryani Nasution.
Good morning.
Good morning, doctor.
First of all, I would like to express my...
Can you decrease the microphone level? Feedback.
Okay. Is it okay now, doctor?
Okay.
A little bit low again.
Test.
Okay, try again.
Okay. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude to the organizing committee for arranging this event. Thank you, Dr. Kartika, Dr. Arya, and Dr. Aksa. Thank you for fellow lecturer who still here today to hear my presentations. And today I would like to share about the effect of oil pulling using coconut oil for periodontal health. As we know, periodontal diseases are highly prevalent chronic inflammatory conditions that affect the supporting tissues of the teeth. Gingivitis affects the majority of people, and advanced periodontitis is estimated to affect 5 to 15% of adults. In Indonesia, periodontal diseases affect almost 90% of the population. Next. As we all know that the periodontal diseases is divided to two main types, which is gingivitis and periodontitis. And the main etiology is dental plaque. So to maintain the periodontal health, we need to do plaque control. Plaque control can be done mechanically and using chemotherapeutic as adjunctive. Next. So mechanically, toothbrushing is the most reliable and accepted method, but sometimes it is not done properly. Whether the techniques, the timing, or the brush used for brushing is not the right way. So sometimes mechanical cleaning does not provide the best result. For that reason, we need adjunctive therapy to help maintain our periodontal health. So usually we use chemotherapeutic as an adjunctive, but we all know that chemical mouthwash have disadvantages. For instance, chlorhexidine, which is the most used mouthwash for periodontal disease, have side effects. That is, it can stain the tooth and can alter taste. That's why we are trying to go back to our roots to use traditional medicine. One of them, of course, is herbal. So there's this term called oil pulling that has been used extensively as a traditional Indian folk remedy for many years. It is called Kavala Gandusha or Kavala Graha in the Ayurvedic text. The book of the Ayurvedics is called Charaka Samhita and Susruta Arthasastra, and it is known since 3000 BC. Simple is swishing vegetable oil for oral health. So in the 1990s, Dr. F. Karak in Russia made terms called oil pulling to call this method. So the method of oil pulling is used by proper sitting down with chin upright, and then we use a tablespoon of oil put inside the mouth, and it is shipped, sucked, and pulled between the teeth for 10 to 15 minutes until it turns viscous thin and milky white. The oil should not be swallowed because it is believed that the oil after being swished in the mouth will contain bacteria from our mouth. Later, it will be followed by brushing the teeth, and preferably done on empty stomach in the morning. It is said that if done in the morning with an empty stomach, then the oil pulling will also affect general health, such as hypertension and diabetes mellitus. Next. So the kinds of oils used for oil pullings are mostly all edible vegetable oils, such as sesame oil, sunflower oil, olive oil, corn oil, groundnut oil, gooseberry oil, and coconut oil. Next. There are many studies already done that prove that oil pulling is beneficial in periodontal health. For example, Amit et al. In 2007 did a study about the effect of refined sunflower oil on plaque and gingivitis, and the result is that oil pulling is having dental benefits in reducing plaque and gingivitis. Asokan et al. In 2009 did a study about the effect of sesame oil on plaque-induced gingivitis, and the result is that the oil pulling therapy showed a reduction in the plaque index, modified gingival scores, and total colony count of aerobic microorganisms in the plaque of adolescents with plaque-induced gingivitis. Sroisiri et al. At 2011 did a study about the effect of oil pulling on oral microorganisms in biofilm models, and the results stated that the coconut oil exhibited antimicrobial activity against Streptococcus mutans and Candida albicans. Saravanan et al. In 2013 did a study about the effect of sesame oil on plaque-induced gingivitis microbiologically. And the result is that statistically significant decrease in plaque, gingival scores, and number of bacteria in the mouth. Next, coconut oil is easily available in Indonesia and of course in many other countries. It has no side effect, more cost effective as compared to commercially available mouthwash, and it is said to have beneficial effects to general health. Next. The advantages of coconut oil is that it contains 92% of medium chain saturated fatty acids, whereas other kinds of vegetable oils usually contains mostly of long chain saturated fatty acids. Medium chains is better because it helps gain the good cholesterol level also. And coconut oil is 50% is lauric acids. In lauric acids there are monoglycerides, which is already known as an anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial, as stated by Hirholzer and Kabara in 1982. Coconut oil also contains bioactive substances such as tocopherols, tocotrienols, phytosterols, phytostanols, phospholipids, flavonoids, and polyphenols. That is, all are antioxidants. So, in the Faculty of Dentistry, University of Sumatera Utara, we have done some studies about coconut oil used with the oil pulling methods. These studies are done by our undergraduate students under my supervision. The first one is the effect of oil pulling using coconut oil on gingival condition in USU dental students. The study was done in 2015, and the results showed a reduction in plaque and gingival scores from day 1 until day 10 with P-score less than 0.05, so it is a significant difference. And the conclusion is that oil pulling using coconut oil effectively reduces plaque accumulation and gingival inflammation. The second one
Dr. Aini,
is...
Dr. Aini, your time is only 1 minute left.
Okay, Doc. 14 4 minutes? Yeah.
1 minute. 1 minute.
Oh, so okay. I will wrap this up. So all the 5 studies we've done in University of Sumatera Utara all concluded that rinsing with coconut oil using oil pulling methods is beneficial in reducing inflammation and also decreasing the number of colonies of bacteria in plaque, including Streptococcus sanguinis. So this is the possible mechanism of how the coconut oil pulling can improve periodontal health. It is said that the viscosity of the oil can inhibit bacterial adhesion and plaque coaggregation. There's the saponification, and there's the antibacterial effect of the oil that can break the bacterial membrane and thus killing the bacteria. Next. Okay. So to sum up the studies, we can conclude that from the results of the present studies, it could be scientific evidence that oil pulling method using coconut oil has beneficial effects for periodontal health and could be used as home therapy to maintain or improve periodontal health. With that, I thank you all for your kind attention.
Thank you, Dr. Aini, for such an insightful presentation. So, because we have a limited time, let's move on to. I'm sorry, we still have one final presenter from Gadjah Mada University, Dr. Juni Handayani. Are you ready to present your presentation? Dr. Juni?
Hello.
Hello. Please proceed. The session is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Kartika.
Mr. Adi, can you start the PowerPoint? Start sharing?
Yes.
Okay. Minimize the video desktop. Slideshow your presentation.
Okay. Okay. Good morning, everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you for Dr. Kartika and for organize this meeting. Today I will present with title The Effect of Curcuma sidellaria Essential Oil on Interleukin 1 Beta nipple in rat induce diabetes with gingivitis. We know the curcuma sidoaria, we call in Indonesia is temu putih, is a material can use for analgesic property in acetic acid, induce abdominal constriction model in mice, or can use for anti-hyperglycemic and anti-nociceptive if used leaf extract, or for traditional medicine in Bangladesh. We use rhizome from the curcuma sidoaria. We can use for leprosy, mental disorder, leukorrhea, diabetes, hepatitis, diarrhea, and hemorrhoid. Also, traditional medicine, we use rhizome in India for digestion or relief for colic and blood purifier, or neutralize the venom from cobra in India. We know that curcuma sidoaria contain volatile oil, and in volatile oil there is contain sesquiterpene or curcumin. Okay. We know that diabetes mellitus is many people have this disease, and until now there is no medicine for complete cure. Diabetes mellitus, we know that metabolic disorder characterized by relative or absolute insufficiency of insulin and resultant disturbance of carbohydrate metabolism. The major function of insulin is to counter the concerted action of number of hyperglycemia generating hormone and to maintain low blood glucose level. Oral manifestation and complication in diabetes mellitus. Oral manifestation, we know that no specific oral lesion associated with diabetes. However, there are a number of problems by presence of hyperglycemia. For example, in periodontal disease, we know microangiopathy altering antigenic challenge and can alter cell-mediated immune response and impair of neutrophil chemotaxis, or increase calcium and glucose. It is lead to milk plaque formation and increase collagen breakdown. In this figure, we know that the simplified schematic to know etiologic factor and cascade of event contributing the periodontal disease that are altered by diabetes. We know bacterial product in host cell can secrete cytokine, for example, interleukin-1 beta, interleukin-10, or TNF alpha, or prostanoid. The cytokine can make bone resorption, or enzyme can make breakdown of connective tissue. Previous study, we know that curcuma sidoaria can use for antimicrobial for Streptococcus mutant, Enterococcus faecalis, Staphylococcus aureus, and Candida albicans, or Bacillus subtilis and other bacteria. Also for anti-inflammation. Previous studies show curcuma sidoaria can use anti-inflammation for artificial udem in rat with dose 400 milligram per kilogram body weight, or can inhibit inflammatory equivalent with curcumin dose 30 milligram per kilogram body weight. Previous study also saw that curcuma sidoaria can use for anti-diabetes with dose 50, 10, 100, 200, and 400 milligram per kilogram body weight in serum glucose concentration were reduced respectively 38.9, 39.4, 41.1, and 55.1% glucose level. Previous our study, curcuma sedoaria oil dose 30.6 microliter per milliliter was administered orally for 14 days in rat induced bacteria AA, can increase phagocytic activity of neutrophil and macrophage. Also, this material can reduce gingivitis that characterized by the decrease in expression CD4. Also, curcuma sedoaria oil can decrease blood sugar level and gingivitis. In this study, the aim was to determine the effect of curcuma sedoaria oil on interleukin-1 beta level in rat-induced diabetes with gingivitis. We used this material. This is the plant, and this is the rhizoma. For induced diabetes, we use streptozotocin, and after this, we collect the blood and the serum. And this figure, we use ELISA kit from R and ND to measure interleukin-1 beta. First preparation, ethical clearance we get from Ethic Committee Faculty Dentistry, Universitas Gadjah Mada. After this, plant determination for curcuma sedoaria in biologic pharmacy laboratory UGM, and preparation volatile oil in laboratory in UGM also. The started were obtained from laboratory in UGM. This is the method. We use 25 Wistar rate. Diabetes mellitus induced by streptozotocin intravena. Measurement blood level. We collect from the blood after 1 day, 24 hours. And gingivitis were made by 6 ligators. And in days 8, we measure interleukin-1 beta in serum. And after this, in days 8 to 14, treatment, we apply curcuma sedoaria volatile oil orally in dose 10, 30, and 50 microliter per milliliter. And for control, we use glibenclamide 10 milligram per kilogram body weight. In days 15, we measure again after the treatment for interleukin-1 beta level in serum. After this, we analyze this data. This figure, we know the result, mean and standard deviation of interleukin-1 beta serum level in picogram per milliliter. We can see here in control positive, we use glibenclamide. We compare with curcuma sedoaria dose 50 microliter per milliliter. We saw this after the treatment. We see the figure. There is no significant difference. We see here the comparison interleukin-1 beta level between curcuma sedoaria oil dose 50 microliter per milliliter compared with positive control was no significant difference. In this discussion, we know that curcumin in volatile oil curcuma sedoaria could inhibit prostaglandin via cyclooxygenase. This may Curcuma pseudorea food as anti-inflammation, so can reduce gingivitis status. After this, we know that streptozotocin could induce diabetes mellitus. That streptozotocin, this compound that has preferential toxicity toward pancreatic beta cells. But alpha-pinene and curcumin in Curcuma pseudorea may have potentiative to inhibit prostaglandin via cyclooxygenase. Also, after inhibit prostaglandin, so inhibitor mediator inflammation could reduce. So, cytokine pro-inflammation, there is interleukin-1 beta, would decrease. So, in this study, yes.
Dr. Juni, actually your time is up. Can you can you come to the conclusion? Yeah.
Okay, this is the conclusion. Thank you. Curcuma pseudorea essential oil may have potentiative to reduce interleukin-1 beta level. Thank you. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Juni, for such an insightful presentation. So, actually, we still have one more presenters from India, Dr. Anita Akaluri, but unfortunately, there's the internet connections in her area is not very good. So we will still move on to, because we have limited time. We still move on with the event. Thank you very much for all presenters for your informative and interesting talk. So very well, ladies and gentlemen, now we come to question and answer session. I will leave it to Dr. Aksa Shuhada to be the moderator for this session.
Thank you, Dr. Kartika. Ladies and gentlemen, 7 presenters have delivered their studies and clinical experiences using various herbs in dental treatment. We have coffee, siwa, curcuma, aloe vera, and coconut oil. I would like to invite all of you, if there is something to ask, if you have some question for the presenters, please. I open for 3 questions.
There's a question from University of Sumatera Utara, Doc.
Okay. We have University of Sumatera Utara and Dr. Arya will also have question also. Please, University of Sumatera Utara, proceed.
Thank you, Dr. Aksa. My name is Ferdinand Pasaribu from University of Sumatera Utara. I want to ask to University of Jember potency of coffee. I want to know how much dose of coffee to improve our oral health. Thank you.
Did you get the question, Dr. Aksa?
Yes, of course. Please, Dr. Susi, to answer.
As well as I said before, the use of coffee in oral therapy is fair. While aging, it is studied. Yeah. After the dose, yeah. Once again, there needs to be defined.
Jember, cannot hear your voice clearly. Can you make up the microphone, Mr. Villa? Because it's hard to...
Maybe I can get the message. Maybe I can get the message that it is needed to be explored and need more studies to find the dose.
Yes, so I offer to introduce this study process. Thank you.
It need to conduct more studies to establish the dose. Yes. Thank you.
Because,
It will be a stimulation for us. Yeah.
Yeah, because usually coffee the consume is we have attention for coffee to use them over coffee. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The next question, Dr. Arya, please.
Thank you, Dr. Aksa. My question is actually the same. I have one first question is about the effect of the coffee. We know that the coffee, they say that it has effect to have a stain, color stain in the teeth if you consume it too much. What about that? And that's my first question. And the second question, that's for Dr. Susilawati from Jember. And the other is we have Dr. Maharani, Dr. Yuli, and Dr. Juni, which conduct the studies still animal experiment. So, do you have what is your plan to in the translational study? Is there any further study? So, we expect that through this teleconference, we can make another collaboration to continue the study. Do you have particular plan to continue the study? That's the question, Dr. Aksa.
Okay.
Dr. Aksa, before Dr. Susi answer the question from Dr. Arya, can I add one question? This is from my colleague who sits beside me regarding the research that Dr. Susi did about the coffee. She wants to know what type of coffee that she used on the experiments and what kind of the dominant active ingredient that is used in the study. Thank you, Dr. Aksa.
Yeah, okay. Very interesting questions. The first question, Dr. Arya would like to know how could the presenters, Dr. Yuli and Dr. Maharani and Dr. Susi, translate their studies to a human dental treatment. I start from Dr. Susi first. Short answer, please.
Okay. About the potential discolorization of the tooth structure because of coffee. Yes, I agree that it is potential because coffee has strong melanidins that affect in the colorization of tooth structure. However, there is still report that concerns about the effect of coffee on the structure discolorization, tooth structure discolorization. Many studies report about the use of tobacco, but leaders reported the use of coffee. Like I said before, there are still many studies to study coffee, the use of coffee in coffee. And then other questions about the time, the appropriate time to consume coffee. So I recommend to consume coffee in the morning after breakfast. Why? Because coffee contains caffeine that has stimulatory effect. And also as we consume coffee, it also has effect to make you stay awake. So if we consume in the night, it will make you stay awake and it will make other health problems. So my study, one cup of coffee in the morning is good. After having breakfast, it's good for the cardiovascular structure and probably also the structure of any part of our body. So I think one of the cup of coffee is good in the morning so that enough to me is maybe it's okay. But I am not suggested that you can simplify it and that.
Thank you, Dr. Susi. How about Dr. Yuli? Can you answer the Dr. Arya's question? How to translate your studies to human dental treatment in the future?
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Arya, for the question. I think in my research to the future, replicated in the human, we can make that.
Brawijaya, can you increase the mic level?
We make the aloe vera gel.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we make aloe vera gel as a membrane or guided tissue regeneration. That's all.
Okay. So you have a perspective in the future that you will develop aloe vera gel to cure, to make a dental treatment after tooth extraction. That's right. Yeah. Is it okay, Dr. Arya?
Yeah.
How about Dr. Maharani? Are you still here?
Yeah, okay, thank you. I will answer the question. I have the research of Mauli banana since 4 years ago. The first I have take the research for cell toxicity, and then in vitro and in vivo. And one research I have done to the human, but I think it's only preclinical research, not real clinical experimental research, because the sample I think on not.
Dr. Maharani, can you unmute your camera? Can you unmute your camera? Because we cannot see you, only your voice.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry. The first I want to answer the question. I have take the research of Mauli banana stem since 4 years ago. The first I get the cytotoxicity test, and then in vitro and in vivo. And the last research I have take to the human, but I think it's only preclinical research, not real, because I think the sample is not enough, only 30% for two groups. Maybe the next I will take the other research to the human, and the research about Mauli banana stem. I had asked to the Kaki patent, and it's the time in publishing. Maybe
How about the
next
result?
year. Yeah.
How about the result in human? Is it comparable? It is the same. Did you get the same results in human and the animal?
Yeah. In the 30 some subject, I get I take the control positive with the aloe vera. Aloe vera patent drugs contain aloe vera. It's the result is same. But yeah, same. But I think it's more research again. Okay. Thank you.
I think they all have a good prospect in the future to develop herbs, traditional herbs in dental treatment. Is right, Dr. Arya? Do you think so?
Yes, that's fine. Actually, we want to have this forum as a starter. This forum as a starter for the next collaboration. Maybe you can have like a multi-center studies to continue that animal studies. So we have a collaboration here. Yeah, let's start. We can find a grant from anywhere. The point is we already have the collaboration here. This is only start, Dr. Aksa.
Okay. Dr. Kartika, still we have time for discussion, or should I give the time for you to proceed to the next step?
Okay, actually,
right now?
Dr. Arya, do we still have time? Do we still have
I
time?
think we need to close.
Oh, we need to go.
No.
Okay.
It's explained it.
Okay. 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 Thank you again, everyone, for all the presenters for their informative and interesting talk, and to the audience for your active participation. I'm sorry for the technical problems we had earlier, and hopefully in the next future we can do this again and maybe collaborate more in doing research together regarding the topics of herbal medicine use in dentistry. And hopefully the presentation will be beneficial for everyone here. And I need to inform you that after this session, we'd appreciate it if you fill out some of the evaluation form regarding the technical in this session, and I will send it by emails. And please send it back to me as soon as possible, so we can have a feedback from you about how the implementation of this dental session too. So thank you very much, Dr. Aksa and Dr. Arya, for the opportunity that given to Brawijaya University, so we can organize and conduct this event. And I will leave it to Dr. Arya to conclude and wrap up the discussion. Thank you.
Yeah, I won't say much, but thank you to all the participants. Thank you for University Scientist of Malaysia, Universitas Jember, Mahasiswa Besar, Lambung Makurat, and Gajah Mada, Sumatera Utara, and also from Dr. Anita from India, and all the participants. This is only a starter, and let's start for the. Maybe we can make this teleconference as a routine monthly or maybe 3 monthly, so we can familiar with this method and make a better collaboration in the future. So thank you for everyone.
Thank you for the opportunity.
So bye-bye. See you in the next opportunity.
See you next time. Thank you everyone. Bye. Yeah. Oke, semua ada close. Mas Tunggul, masih ada? Tunggul.
Iya, Dok.
Cek masih nge-link ke saya ya?
Masih, Dok.
Oke.
Gimana, Dok?
Mas, untuk foto yang live streaming tadi, yang dari luar site UB, kayak sudah terlanjur selesai jadi nggak bisa ngambil. Apa harus ada fotonya yang dari luar?
Enggak perlu sih, cuma nanti diinform aja dari mana gitu aja, Dok, nggak apa-apa.
Oh, oke. Thank you, Mas. Makasih banyak bantuannya hari ini.
Terima kasih banyak, Dok. Terima kasih.
Yes.
Great job from AKWUB.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you. Hello, Mr. Kuswin.
Yeah, your audio is fine.
Sudah nggak grogi lagi, Dok, ya?
Mangan. Okay. Yes, that's very good.
Meriang, Bro. Meriang mana awakku?
Loh. Mosok kate play seminggu maneh mari ngono.
Makane kuwi. Hah? Kurang tamati.
Rekamane. Sampai